Told you.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of high school football here on Eagle Pass Sports Central. Morris Lipson Jr. and Ruben Valadez coming to you live today from Cozell Foster Veterans Memorial Stadium, where the Medina Valley Panthers have come in to face the CCWinn Mavericks in district action. Morris, the Medina Valley Panthers come in at 1-4. Their only win is against Martin in district. Mavericks still looking to get on the board this season.
Well, both of these teams have had some hard times. They've lost some ball games as Medina Valley comes into here to Eagle Pass. The Mavericks, of course, every week continue to work to analyze their situation, and hopefully we're hoping they're going to be able to get a win here tonight against the Panthers.
We'll have the coin toss there at the 50-yard line as both team captains head towards the center of the field. We talked to Coach Eric Villaseñor during the pregame show yesterday. One of the main things they're going to focus on today, controlling penalties. Really cost them last week in the 28-13 loss up in San Antonio against Southwest Legacy. Lots of penalties early on. Both offensive coordinator and head coach talked during the prediction show about controlling that today.
The teams meeting at the 50-yard line for the coin flip. The Mavericks in their all-black uniforms, white helmets, white numbers. Medina Valley, I would assume their colors are black and red or white and red, as they've got red tops with maybe I'm a little bit colorblind here, Ruben. Is that orange or is it red? It's probably about Medina Valley's, I think, is orange.
Kind of a dark orange.
A dark orange, and they've got those orange numbers. And here is the announcement from the referee.
And the Mavericks have won the toss. They have elected to receive, and they will be defending the north end zone going from left to right on your screen. Again, thank you for joining us on Eagle Pass Sports Center. We had a heck of a game last week up in San Marcos. The Eagles coming away with the 39-31 victory. Eagles are open, of course, this week. No action for them. They'll start next week, homecoming here against Alexander. We are just about set to kick off here.
Ruben, last week, a game of two halves. The Eagles really didn't play up to their potential in the first half. In fact, going, I think it was 31-19 or something like that, going at the half. But then we saw the Eagles really come back the second half, do really well defensively, and not only that, put some points on the board to win that ball game. But the Mavericks coming here tonight. This is a sunny afternoon. We kind of hope it was a little bit more autumn weather, but it is fine. And as we've got the crowd beginning to come into Foster Veterans Memorial Stadium here at the SAC.
Hoping for some cooler temperatures, but a very lovely South Texas afternoon and early evening today as the teams are about to kick off. Again, Medina Valley will be kicking off right to left. This is number 19 kicking off for Medina Valley. That's Pablo Padilla, the senior kicker. Two men back to receive for the Mavericks. That's number 12, Arandu Pace. And we'll get the number for you on the man over on the right, who will be fielding that at the 12-yard line. That's Fernando Vasquez, and Vasquez gets to about the 30-yard line before being taken out of bounds.
You know, a key for the Mavericks is getting their running game going. They are primarily a running team. They need to really get Jeremiah Robinson going and then mix in some of their passing game here and there.
Just underway, 7 o'clock kickoff here. And the Mavericks have the ball first in this ball game. Ball is at the near hash mark, right at the 30-yard line. Cardona will be in the shotgun formation with three runners in the backfield with him. He's not going to move out and do pace in motion. He'll take the snap, the handoff there. Straight ahead goes Jeremiah Robinson, who's so far, partner, having a tough season, not as explosive as we've seen him, but particularly last season. you know that all the defenses are keying in on him.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You stole those out of my mouth. They're keying on him. Cardona is going to have to do run some more, take some of the spotlight out off of Jeremiah Robinson.
Abiel Cardona did a good job for this Maverick team last year in a valiant effort up in San Antonio against Southwest Legacy. Ball now on the far hash mark at the 30-yard line. Robinson lost about a half a yard at the 29.5. The snap. Here is a handoff. Around the corner comes runner at the 35, at the 40. Still on his feet, and he has room in front of him. Big number 36, Isaac Maldonado. 46. Tadeo Rivera, junior running back, taking that to the house on the second play of the ball game, and the Mavericks are on the board 6-0.
You know, Ruben, we just spoke about them keying on Jeremiah. Well, who would ever think they'd give it to their fullback, who came over the right side of the line, found just a gaping hole, and got past the defensive secondary. They were really playing the run, even the defensive backs. And then number 46 is a little bit fast, isn't he?
He certainly is. Put on the Jets once he had all of the tacklers behind him. A two-play, 70-yard drive that took a minute off the clock. The kick is on its way. It is up, and it is good from the kicker for the Mavericks. And that makes the score Mavericks 7, Panthers 0. Mavericks are up 7-0 with just a minute gone from the clock in this district game. Daniel Rodriguez will be kicking off for the Mavericks, left to right. The kick is on its way, and it will be fielded at the 18-yard line. Coming down the near side, there is number 32, Antoine Pierce, who's going to be featured out of the backfield for the Medina Valley Panthers.
And now the Maverick defense has its work cut out for them, as the Maverick offense has struck quickly for a 7-0 lead.
We'll see what the defense can do here in holding up on the Panthers' first drive of the ball game. 10:55 still left in the first quarter. We want to thank all of you who are joining us on Eagle Pass Sports Central, live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Freshman quarterback for Medina Valley, Javier Gonzalez, will be in the shotgun with two receivers to the right side of the formation, one split out wide here to the near side. This is a handoff. Great job knifing in for the Mavericks. Number 13, the defensive back, Daniel Valderas, to cut down Daniel Reza, the junior wide receiver.
They blitz from the left corner, and he was in the backfield so quick he almost took the handoff and made a great tackle for a huge loss.
Ball is now at the 32-yard line, a 5-yard loss on the play, 2nd and 15 coming up for the Panthers. Here's another handoff. It's going to be Pierce this time, and he again is their kind of featured running back. That's number 28. That's Anthony Guerrero with the carry, and Guerrero gets a first down across the 45 to the 46-yard line.
Juan Martinez finally chased him down as they come quickly up to the line of scrimmage.
1st and 10. Gonzalez in the shotgun, looking over to the far sideline for the play call. Two receivers over on the far side, one here to the near side, split out wide left. Here's a counter, again meant for Guerrero, and Guerrero gets into that Maverick defense and is brought down at the 49-yard line.
So if you just joined us, the Mavericks on their second play from scrimmage broke a huge run to get ahead in this ball game 7-0, and the Panthers now have the ball for the first time this evening.
9:36 left in the first quarter. Mavericks have a 7-0 lead. Medina Valley with Gonzalez in the shotgun, takes the snap, looks back, passes right. The pass is caught on the left flat by the wide receiver who was split wide right over there. That's number 80, Ty Mills, who makes the catch, and he comes up a couple of yards shy of the 45-yard line to the 46.
Number 83 was over there on the coverage, Alan Alonso for the Mavericks on that sideline pass.
It'll be a 3rd and 2. Gonzalez hands off again to Guerrero. Up the middle of the line he goes, and you'll get a first down to the Maverick 42-yard line. Gain of 4 yards on the play.
So the Medina Valley Panthers quickly establishing a drive here as they get the ball for the first time, trailing 7-0.
Tempo is the name of the game. We heard this from defensive coordinator Rene Ramirez. They spread you out wide. You see that formation with 2 receivers on one side, one split out wide left here. Gonzalez takes the snap, looks that way. The pass is overthrown on the intended slant, intended for number 88, Cade Gallion. Pass is incomplete, and it'll bring up a 2nd down.
Number 43, Luis Flores, was on the coverage, 1-and-1 coverage on the pass that was overthrown.
On a 2nd and 10, the Panthers come to the line with Gonzalez in the shotgun. He's going to have a man in motion. Here's a counter again to Guerrero, and a great job by the Maverick defense of keying in on Anthony Guerrero, who's been the star for this Panther offense. He'll gain a yard to the 40, not much more than that. 3rd and 9 coming up.
Number 36, Isaac Maldonado actually came in pursuit and slowed him down from behind.
8:16 left in the first quarter. Mavericks hanging on to a 7-point lead. This is the Panthers' first drive of the ball game, and the Maverick defense trying to hold up here with the ball in their territory. Ball's at the 40-yard line. Gonzalez in the shotgun, 2 receiver to the left side, 1 split out wide right. The snap, he'll roll left. Here comes the pressure. The pass is caught, but way far from a first down. They'll call it incomplete. The intended receiver, Ruben Reyes, here on the near flat, and it looks like the Panthers will send down their punting team.
Number 36, Isaac Maldonado, was right there and actually knocked the football loose as he got there just as the football did.
Brandon Butler will be punting this for the Panthers. 7:54 left in the first quarter. 2 men back there to receive the punt. That's number 83, Alan Alonso, over on the far side, and we'll get a number for the man here on the near side. The snap. The kick is on its way. End over end it goes, and it's going to be fielded by Salayandia at the 5, and he'll be brought down right there. So a long trek for the Mavericks that are going to have to go 95 yards to get this touchdown. Mavericks are up 7-0, 7:45 left in the first quarter.
Ruben, what a gutsy return there. He took that ball at the 5 with everybody bearing down on him, and was very sure-handed, but they brought him down immediately.
Dangerous situation there, but Salayandia managed to keep control of that ball. I think he was hoping to maybe outrun the coverage, hoping it was past him. From the 5-yard line, technically on the 6 are the Mavericks. Here's the snap. It's a keeper by Cardona, looking for some room on the right side. Now cuts upfield, and he'll get to the 8-yard line, a gain of a couple of yards on the quarterback keeper.
Cardona faked the handoff and then was trying to cut the corner, and he did for about a couple of yards on the right side, the short side of the field.
So it'll bring up a 2nd and 7 now for the Mavericks, still inside their own 10-yard line at the 8. Ball is on the near hash mark. 7:19 left in the first quarter. A running team are the Mavericks. The clock moves quickly during these ball games. Ball on the near hash mark. Cardona in the shotgun, takes the snap. Hands off to Arandu Pace, who's trying to turn the corner, and he's going to be brought down very close to the goal line at the half-yard line down there. Number 36 for the Panthers, James Vallejo, the linebacker, in on that tackle.
Came just about an eyelash from being a safety as he tried to go wide to the far side of the field, and they brought him down inside the 1-yard line.
And it'll be a 3rd and 15 now from there. The Mavericks have to be careful No penalties in the end zone. That's a safety. And, of course, you don't want to get sacked in the end zone. That'll be 2 points in favor of Medina Valley as well, plus the free kick.
Well, throw the football.
Well, throwing the football gives you more chance for some penalties in the end zone you might not want. But
As long as you don't hold.
We'll see what Heriberto Royce does here. 6:13
They're going to call
left.
a timeout here.
It's the first Maverick timeout of the half with 6:13 left. Mavericks are up 7-0. Tonight's game brought to you by Brown Chevrolet of Eagle Pass. The Mavericks face a 3rd and 15 from inside their own 5-yard line, very close to the end zone. They have to be careful here. Here is Cardona dropping back. The pass goes to the far sideline, and it is intercepted at the 28-yard line by Carter Hewitt. And Hewitt will be brought down by the intended receiver on that pass, Fernando Vasquez. And the Panthers, Morris, have a short field to play with now.
Well, they do, but, not a bad punt, you might say. You throw the ball from the end zone, get it intercepted at a little bit outside the 30-yard line. This looks like it's set at the 34?
The 34 with 6:04 left in the first quarter. The Panthers on the attack again. Gonzalez in the shotgun. The Mavericks show blitz early on. Now the whole offensive line and all of the offensive players will look over to the far sideline to get the adjustment. Here's Gonzalez. Takes the snap. The handoff is to the running back, Guerrero, all the way down here. He goes, now cuts upfield at about the 10-yard line and into the end zone for the Panther touchdown to make it 7-6. In the meantime, this is Anthony Guerrero Morris, who is their workhorse for the Panthers.
Quickly took the handoff, did cut the corner, and then headed north and south and got into the end zone on their first play after the interception.
Point after attempt now on its way, number 19, Pablo Padilla, with the point after attempt for Medina Valley. 5:53 left in the game. A one-play drive. Guerrero with the 34-yard touchdown. The kick is good, and it evens the score at 7. Tonight's game brought to you by Maverick County Hospital District. Go by and visit them for all your healthcare needs here in Eagle Pass. 5:53 left in the first quarter. Mavericks and Panthers all tied up at 7 after the 34-yard touchdown run by Anthony Guerrero. 2 men back to receive this kick for the Mavericks. The kick is on its way. It's going to be Fernando Vasquez with the return from the 18-yard line, looking for blockers in front of him. He'll cross the 30 and near the 35 before being brought down by the Panther coverage team. And the Mavericks will have good field position at their own 35-yard line for their third offensive drive of the ballgame.
And Ruben, we have a brand new ballgame after the Mavericks scored from their second play from scrimmage to start the ballgame and quickly got on the scoreboard. But they pinned the Mavericks deep in their own territory, and a turnover, an interception at the 34-yard line in Maverick territory. The Panthers put it in the end zone on their very first play.
So with 5:45 left in the first quarter, the Mavericks will come to the line of scrimmage, the 35-yard line. Cardona looks to be under center initially, with Robinson deep in the backfield behind him. It's a fumble, a bad snap, and on the exchange, the ball is on the ground, and Medina Valley will have the ball at the 35-yard line.
Number 34 comes out from the bottom of the pile. That's Caden Keller with the football, as it was a bad snap, just like you mentioned, and Keller was right there to pounce on it.
One of the defensive stars for Medina Valley with 5:41 in the first quarter now. Medina Valley again taking over right at about the same spot as they did in their previous possession at the 35-yard line. Gonzalez will come to the line. He's in the shotgun. He's got a blocker in front of him. He's going to put a man in motion here to the near side. The counter again to Guerrero. Guerrero has room in front of him. He gets inside to 30 and is brought down eventually at the 27-yard line. Number 83, Alan Alonso, in on that tackle for the Mavericks.
Well, just like you mentioned, the Panthers are going to work Guerrero very, very hard tonight.
2nd and 2 for the Panthers now from the 27-yard line. Ball is on the near hash mark. Gonzalez is in the backfield along with Guerrero on his left. Two receivers here to the near side of the formation, one split out wide right. Again, the counter to Guerrero, and he gets about 2-3 yards before Maverick contact. He's down at the 22-yard line. 57 in on that tackle. Angel Esquivel, the defensive end. You notice, Morris, Guerrero never gets the ball and goes straight. There's always a little counter action before going north and south.
He goes north and south. And here they are lined up again.
Ball now is at the 22-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Panthers from there. Gonzalez in the shotgun. He'll take the snap, looks right. The pass is on its way, and it's nearly intercepted by Jonathan Salayandia. Good job on the coverage there over on the right side.
Salayandia on the coverage, and again, 1-and-1 coverage. It went through the hands of the receiver, which looks like it was 83, Aiden Valderrama.
4:31 left in the first quarter. Tie game. There's a
yellow hanky
flag there at about the 21-yard line. I don't know if that's a chop block. It's against the Panthers. I don't know. It'll depend on how far they mark it back. They end up at the 32-yard line.
That's one of those spot penalties, I would say, right?
Looks
from
like
the
it's
spot
a hold
of the infraction.
Yep, looks like it's a hold from there. So 2nd and about 20 now for the Panthers after the penalty. Ball is on the near hash mark at the 37-yard line. So it was a 15-yard penalty. And bouncing left now is the runner. That's Guerrero again, and he's pushed out of bounds down here at the 29-yard line.
So the Panthers tried to make up some of this yardage. It's now 3rd down and long.
It's 3rd down now. About 15, looks like, for the Panthers. Ball is at the 29-yard line. The line to get is the 17.
It's about, let's see. Is that the 12 or the 13 over there?
Oh, it's a 13.
Okay. The yard marker's way on the other side of the field.
Ball on the near hash mark. Whistles blow before the snap. It's a timeout called by Medina Valley, and it'll be their first timeout of the first half. We're tied at 7 here with 4:14 left in the first quarter. Tonight's ball game brought to you by Benny Morales for state representative. 4:14 left in the first quarter. Man in motion here for the Panther offense. Gonzalez drops back. Here comes the defensive pressure. He has to roll right. Now he steps up in the pocket. He's going to keep it himself. The Mavericks trying to track him down, and they do over on the far side of the field at the 28-yard line, well short of a first down.
Yeah, it's got to where the line of scrimmage was originally. But you know what? I think they're going to go for it on fourth down. At least that's the indication, right, Ruben?
It looks to be a 4th and 11 from the 28-yard line. And you're right, partner. The Panther offense is staying on the field. 3:37 left in the first quarter. On a 4th and 11, here go the Panthers. He's going to move Guerrero to his left, 2 receivers down here on the near side. Shotgun snap, pumps once. The pass is on its way, and it is incomplete. Slipping and falling down is the intended receiver, Carter Hewitt. I think Salayandia was probably in coverage over with him on the far side of the field, but the ball goes over on downs, and the Mavericks get it with pretty good field position here right at about the 27-yard line.
Panthers went with a 1-and-1 over on the far side of the field. They had single coverage and good coverage by the Maverick defensive back over there.
Good coverage over on the far side of the field. 3:23 left in the first quarter, and the Mavericks have a chance now after their defense stood tall and forced the ball over on downs. Game that's tied at 7 with 3:23 left in the first quarter. 2 men here down to the near side for Cardona. He's going to move another man in motion. That's the fullback who scored the touchdown earlier. Here's a toss. Flags fly before the snap. They let the play run. I wonder if that was an offsides. It looked to me like it might have been in the area of a false start, but they let the play run.
I saw what you saw. I saw our back leave about a half second early, but he let the play continue, though.
Usually on a false start, the play stops before it gets going. We do have an injured player down on the field at about the 24-yard line. Sitting up for now, it's going to be a hold, it looks like, against the Mavericks, and it'll still be first down, just longer yardage down
Tell you
the
what,
field.
Ruben, that hold was like really quick.
It's an early call
it was on the snap.
Yeah, pretty much on the snap.
So that's an interesting call.
We'll see. Well, this ball now ends up at the 17-yard line.
Still first down.
For 1st and 20 for the Mavericks. They talked about this at the prediction show. Coach Royce was very specific. We've got to cut back on the penalties. You hurt yourself when you lose yardage because of penalties.
You know, this is really unusual because that looks like a spot penalty because it's not 10 yards from the original line of scrimmage.
It's 1st and 15, actually, from there. Here's a handoff to Robinson in the backfield. He'll struggle to get across the 20 and does to the 21-yard line. A gain of 5 yards on the carry for Jeremiah Robinson.
Number 46, Ryan Rincon.
You're going to mark him down at the 21, it looks like. And it'll be a 2nd and 12 from there for the Mavericks. 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter, tied at 7. The Mavericks trying to get on the board in the season and in district play. The Panthers come in at 1-2 in district play, 1-4 for the season. Here's another handoff. This time it's to the fullback who scored the touchdown earlier, Tadeo Rivera, and Rivera does a good job of swinging around the right corner here on the near sideline. He'll get to the 30-yard line.
You know, they're working in number 46, Tadeo Rivera, into the running scheme, and that's going to take a lot of pressure off of Jeremiah Robinson.
It's a good change of pace. Rivera's a bigger kid than Robinson, has a different running style, and so far the Panther defense looks a little confused every time Rivera's had the ball. 1:43 seconds left in the first quarter. 3rd and 3 for the Mavericks, looking to convert here, and we see Rivera coming off the field with a slight limp. Domingo Hernandez, number 22, will replace him in the backfield. And Coach Eric Villaseñor is now in the referee's ear, waiting to call a timeout, waiting for the play clock to come down to 1. There should be the timeout. A minute 21 seconds left in the first quarter, all tied at 7. Want to thank Ancida Eagle Pass for their sponsorship of these broadcasts. A minute 21, and of course we held the prediction show past 2 weeks there at Ancida. I want to thank Rodney Wynn for that as well. A minute 21 showing on the clock here in the first quarter in a tie ball game. The Mavericks will come to the 30-yard line with a 3rd and 3 to get another first down. Cardona is going to move pace in motion. There's a snap, and Cardona trips up over Jeremiah Robinson, and the ball ends up back here at the 26-yard line.
So that's 4th down, as the timing was off completely on that play, as Cardona tripped over Jeremiah Robinson, who was going in the other direction. And, of course, unlike the pros in high school ball, college ball, when you're down, you just can't get up. And it's not down by – you don't have to be down by contact.
Once your knee is down, the play is over. One man here to receive the punt, standing at about his own 45-yard line. High snap. Good job of bringing it down by the Maverick punter. And then it takes a very good Maverick roll all the way to the 35-yard line. An outstanding job there by Gabriel Valderas on the kick.
Well, let me tell you, the ball rolled dead at the 34. But he had to climb the ladder, as that ball was, first of all, it was snapped wide, and then it was snapped high, and then he had rushers in his face and got off a real good kick.
Kept his cool and actually got that kick off, and then the Mavericks got a good home team bounce. 26 seconds left in the first quarter. The Panthers are going to start from their own 34-yard line. Ball on the near hash mark. Gonzalez asks for the snap. Quick pass caught here on the left flat at about the 35-yard line by Jaden Gonzalez, and Gonzalez takes it across the 40 to the 42-yard line.
You know, the Panthers have run Guerrero so well that now the corners are open, and those little side short passes are open.
It's opening up the passing game with the defense keying in on Anthony Guerrero. That's the last play of the first quarter. We'll quickly switch sides of the field and be right back with you here in a tie ball game heading into the second quarter. This game brought to you by the good folks at Eagle Pass Storage. For all your storage needs in Eagle Pass in Maverick County, just at the start of the second quarter now, tied at 7. And the Panthers have a 2nd and 2 at the 42-yard line. Gonzalez with the low snap, picks it up, hands off to Guerrero. He's met in the backfield, but before that, flags fly from way back here at about midfield. And I wonder if that's obviously a penalty that killed the play, and so we expect this to be either an illegal shift. Oh, it's on the Mavericks.
Yes, that was offsides on the Mavericks. So obviously somebody jumped early, and that is going to get the Panthers a first down.
The ball now will be spotted at the 47-yard line after that 5-yard penalty. And it's going to be a 1st and 10 from there. The chains have not moved over on the far side of the field. I think the official now is asking him to move those. The penalty gives the Panthers a first down. Ball on the far hash marks. Still tied at 7 here. Early on in the second quarter, 11:56 rather, left in the half. Gonzalez from the shotgun with 2 men over on the left side. Handoff again to Guerrero. Skips past 1 defender. Now the Mavericks trying to hold on as Guerrero reaches the 45-yard line and is in Maverick territory. This is what we expected from them, Morris. This Anthony Guerrero has carried them the whole season long.
Just like you mentioned, we do have a freshman quarterback in there, right? It's that number 10, Javier Gonzalez.
That's correct. Javier Gonzalez captaining this Panther offense. Ball is at the 45-yard line. It's a 2nd and 2 for Medina Valley, who all of a sudden has established an offensive rhythm here in the second quarter. Quick pass over to the far side. It's caught. And then with the first down is the receiver, Jaden Gonzalez.
You know, pass over to the far side. He caught it and then fell forward just enough to get the first down, Ruben. And it's 1st and 10.
They'll move the chains from the 42-yard line after that pass. 1st and 10 there for Medina Valley. 10:52 left in the second quarter, tied up at 7. The Mavericks scored on their first drive of the ball game, a 70-yard touchdown drive. Here's a keeper by Gonzalez. He's got room on the left side, is at the 35, and then lunges forward to get the first down at the 31-yard line.
Gonzalez keeps it and goes to over his left side of his offensive line and gets enough for the first down.
Ball at the 42-yard line, 10.5 minutes left. Ball at the 31-yard line, 10.5 minutes left here in the second quarter. This is the second time this season we see this, Morris, with the teams coming to the line and then all standing up at once to look for the offensive adjustment. Quick pass here, caught by Hewitt down here on the near side. Hewitt's at the 15, 10, 5, and into the end zone. He will go for the 31-yard touchdown.
You have to give Hewitt a lot of credit. He caught that football and put on a really good move on our defensive back that was right there. And then he tiptoed the sideline, the near sideline, to get into the end zone.
Carter Hewitt caught that pass very close to the line of scrimmage at about the 30 and then did the rest himself. Pablo Padilla on for the point after attempt with 10:05 left in the second quarter. Here is a kick on its way. We've got whistles downstairs. There's a flag over on the far side of the field.
Looks like they're going to, well, let's see. Let's hope this one doesn't go against the Mavericks too, huh?
Yeah, the officials are talking about it. It'll move the field goal or the point after attempt a little closer. The official's still discussing it down there at about the 10-yard line.
Maybe he threw a premature flag.
It might be. We'll see if it gets picked up. It's got to be an offsides against the Mavericks, so it'll move them 5 yards closer for this point after attempt.
Well, now, does that change your strategy? Are you going to go for 2 now?
Well, look down on the field, partner. I think.
They did kick it.
They might be talking about. Yeah, the kick is through and good. 14-7 now is the score. That happened quickly, just out of sight while we were talking up here in the booth. But the Mavericks are now down by 7 with 10:05 left in the third quarter. And Morris, we'll keep it here and we'll talk a little bit about this Maverick offense. And both members of their backfield, Cardona and Robinson, were here last year, and a team that went to the playoffs, went too deep in the playoffs. Mavericks might have lost some men up front, which is the key in this case to opening those blocks for Cardona and
the type
Robinson.
of offense that the Mavericks run, which is a running offense. Well, no, hold on here. Guess what? It's going all back down there to the goal line.
believe somebody called a timeout. Medina Valley might have called a timeout, as you mentioned, to reevaluate this, even though I see the kicker, Pablo Padilla, coming back onto the field.
Well, you know what? Are they going to step anything off here? There it is. Finally.
There you go. Move that a little closer. The kick now will be put down at about the 7-8 yard line or so. So we'll take that 1 point off the board. It's still 13-7.
That's what threw us off.
10:05 left in the second quarter. And Padilla on for the point after attempt. Some kind of stoppage there. I'm looking to see if somebody might have called a timeout. And if there's one less timeout over on the big scoreboard here in the stadium. The kick is through and good. It makes the score Panthers 14, Mavericks 7, with 10:05 left here in the second quarter.
And Ruben, you said we're going to keep it right here and talk a little bit about we're talking about the Maverick offense and the need for them to really get the running game going. And we see some new players in on that Maverick running game. Number 46 is now getting some carries. You've got to get Cardona, and why not? Every once in a while, you've got to throw the football as they get ready to kick this off.
Tadeo Rivera is the fullback who's responsible for the 7 points on the board for the Mavericks. We'll see if he gets the ball a little bit more. We actually saw him come off the field with a bit of an injury. We'll see if he's back on the field here. Padilla ready to kick off. The kick is on its way, and it will be fielded by one of the upmen and then dropped at the 20-yard line. He took a knee there as he dropped that ball. That's Asdrubal Ruiz. And Ruiz is down at the 20-yard line.
He muffed the kick, and then when he went down to pick it up, he went down on one knee, and that killed the ball right there. Ruben, we're talking about what everybody's doing now, or we've seen a lot of teams do it when they come up, they line up in their offense, in their formation, and then they pull back and they make some final adjustments and maybe change the play looking over at the sideline.
It's disconcerting for the defense at the very least. Here's Cardona in the shotgun, takes the snap. It's a keeper trying to find room down here. Stiff arms a man at about the 15-yard line or so, then cuts upfield. There is a flag right as Cardona tried to turn the corner near the 25-yard line, and this is in the area of a hold. I think it's going to come back.
And, of course, the Maverick coaching staff is besides themselves, as just as he was turning upfield to give some yardage, out flies the yellow hanky right there in front of the Maverick sideline.
We heard from the Mavericks coaches yesterday. They had a rough first half. They actually made a bit of a comeback in the second half, but that rough first half was caused by a lot of penalties. And it's the one thing the coaches said that they had to work on, and it's the thing that's biting them here in the first half. This ball ends up all the way back here at the 13-yard line.
So very quickly, it is still a first down.
It's going to be a 1st and 17.
17.
From there, 9:47 left in the second quarter. Cardona again in the shotgun with the ball on the near side. He'll take the snap, little toss this way to looks like Arandu Pace, and Pace gets pushed out of bounds down here on the near sideline at about the 11-yard line. A loss of a couple of yards there. Big number 34, Caden Keller, who's been all over the field with that tackle.
So the Mavericks second down and still long as he lost some more yardage on that play.
Be 2nd and 19 now from the 11-yard line for the Mavericks. 9:36 left in the second quarter. The Mavericks are down 14-7. From the near hash mark, Cardona in the shotgun will take the snap. Quick pass caught by Fernando Vasquez back here at the 6. And then he gets past a bunch of defenders. They'll mark him down. They'll say his forward progress was stopped at the 7-yard line. The Mavericks keep going backwards on this drive.
Let me tell you, that's one case I disagree with the official. He spun around, and at that point, I think he whistled it dead. But actually, he came out of there and was heading upfield. And, of course, he had already called his forward progress, like you mentioned, about where he was hit.
Ball is at the 8-yard line now, a 3rd and 22. coming up for the Mavericks. Long yardage deep in their own territory. It's the second time it's happened to him. Last time there was an interception. 8:48 left in the second quarter. Clock has stopped. It's timeout called by the Mavericks. It's their third one of the first half. Mavericks down 14-7 with 8:44 left here in the first half. This game brought to you by Border Federal Credit Union. Here come the Mavericks on a 3rd and 22 from their own 8-yard line. Cardona setting up the screen. It's caught at the 5, but sliding to the ground is Arandu Pace. Ball will be marked down there. A loss of 3 on the play. 4th and very long now after that pass to Arandu Pace. And on comes the punting the Maverick punting unit. And Gabriel Valderas will have to kick this from about 5 or 6 yards deep in his own end zone.
They're sending back, actually, number 1's back. That's Carter Hewitt. And now also have number 3 back here, Landon Burns.
Low snap off the ground. Nothing to do but pick it up and fall on it for Valderas. And that's a safety. 2 more points added to the Panthers' score, 16-7, with the free kick coming for the Mavericks.
7:57 left here in the second quarter, and it's now 16-7, like you said, Ruben. And now we have to kick the ball to him from our own 20-yard line.
That's right, a free kick coming up after the safety. We mentioned it after that 3-yard loss by Arandu Pace that Valderas would have to execute a very tricky punt from his own end zone. And Valderas was about 8 yards deep in the end zone, way towards the back. And on a low snap, was just unable to handle it and really did the smart thing. The only thing he could do is just kind of fall on top of it. You don't want to cost your team a touchdown by having someone else, by having a Panther fall on top of it. And so they'll take the safety. 16-7 is the Panther score now. And this ball will be kicked off from the 20-yard line.
2 men deep and 2 short men as they tee up the football at the Maverick 20 to kick it off.
7:57 left in the first half. Daniel Rodriguez kicks off from right to left. Short kick fielded at the 35-yard line by Hewitt. And Hewitt has room up the far side of the field and gets into Maverick territory to about, that's actually number 8, Jaden Gonzalez, I think, with the return.
So now the Maverick defense once again has its work cut out as the Mavericks trail 16-7 here with 7:51 left before the half.
Medina Valley will start at the 48-yard line in Maverick territory right near midfield. On the far hash mark, freshman quarterback Gonzalez in the shotgun with 2 receivers over to the far side. No one split out wide right here to the near side. He'll move a man in motion now. Here is the snap. The handoff is to Guerrero, and Guerrero has room up the middle of the field. He's brought down close to the 42-yard line. And on that tackle there, Dante De Leon.
Dante De Leon latched onto him from behind as he was going by him.
Line of scrimmage now is the 42. Ball still on the far hash mark. 7:28 left in the second quarter. Here's another handoff to Guerrero. He's got blockers in front of him. This time, though, he's met at the 40-yard line after a gain of only a couple of yards.
number 57 there to stop him. That's Angel Cavazos for the Mavericks. Stopped them short of a first down, but it's going to be a 3rd and 2.
Ball is at the 40-yard line now, 3rd and 2. Another handoff for Guerrero. Bounces left. He's got room on the far sideline. Still on his feet. Finally pushed out of bounds at the 30. 29 is what they'll give him over on the far side of the field.
Like you mentioned about running back Guerrero, he took that ball, and very seldom, once he starts heading upfield, but at the beginning, he's juking and sliding. And that time he got outside to the far side of the field.
Bounced it to the left side of the line. 6:53 left in the second quarter. Gonzalez in the shotgun again. This is a keeper by Gonzalez, who's got room on the left side of the formation. Still on his feet as he crosses the 20 and still chugging inside the 10-yard line to the 8. The Panthers are going to have a 1st and goal from there.
It looks like they had Gonzalez at about the 15. But he came out of that pack of tacklers and got inside the 10-yard line.
So within striking distance now are the Panthers again on a 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. 6:26 left in the first half. The Maverick defense trying to hold on, make sure this game doesn't get away from them. 16-7 is the score for now. Guerrero to the left side of the line, bounces out, and is met as he nears the goal line at the 1-yard line by the Maverick defender. It'll be a 2nd and goal from the 1 for the Panthers.
As very quickly the Panthers have moved down the field, and they're knocking on the door again.
Mavericks scored first in this game on their first drive of the game and have not been able to put any more points on the board after that and have not been able to contain the Panther offense. 5:50 left. Here's a handoff to Guerrero. Straight towards the line he goes, and it'll be a Panther touchdown, a 1-yard touchdown run for Anthony Guerrero. Makes the score now 22-7 in favor of the Panthers. We saw Guerrero do this last week, 2 weeks ago rather, against the Martin Tigers. And if you looked at the tape, they relied heavily on him in that ball game as well. Padilla will come on for the point after attempt. 5:42 left in the second quarter, trying to make it 23-7 in favor of the Panthers. There is the snap, the hold, the kick is up, and it is good. New score, Panthers 23, Mavericks 7. Tonight's ball game brought to you by Knickerbocker, Heredia, Salinas, and Salinas PC.
I think that's a firm that you're well acquainted with.
I know those guys in that banner. Might see them from day to day. Here's a handoff.
Oh, that was
the return that comes across close to midfield. They'll give him the 49 on the Mavericks side.
Ruben, they when they were teeing up the ball, all of a sudden, how they all run toward the football to onside it? Well, they did it that time, and that time it did happen, but a Maverick was right there to jump on the football right inside the 50.
5:41 left in the third quarter. The Mavericks have good field position from near midfield at the 49-yard line. Cardona in the shotgun has Robinson on his right. Two receivers over to the far side of the field. 5:41 left. If the Mavericks can score here, they'll make it close going into halftime. Cardona takes the snap, rolls right, looking downfield. He's got a man open, intended over there for number 22, the halfback Domingo Hernandez, but pass falls incomplete.
Cardona had to throw on the run as he got flushed out of the pocket. Had two Panthers bearing down on him and had to throw that on the run.
5:35 left in the second quarter. The Mavericks trying to put some points on the board here in their 6th offensive drive of this first half. Line of scrimmage is at 49. Cardona's in the backfield all by himself. No, he's under center with Robinson behind him. The toss goes to Robinson. Then the reverse coming this way is the receiver, number 11, Juan Gonzalez. And Gonzalez turns the corner down here in Panther territory at about the 46-yard line before being pushed out of bounds.
Little misdirection. They headed Jeremiah the other way and then flipped it for the double reverse coming to the near side of the field.
Ball is at the 46-yard line. It's going to be a 3rd and 5 for the Mavericks from there in Panther territory. 5:27 left in the second quarter. Cardona this time will be in the shotgun with Robinson on his right. 2 receivers to the right side of the formation to the top of your screen. It's a keeper by Cardona the whole way. Cuts a field. Good job following his blocking lanes there. And Cardona's brought down at the 40-yard line by James Stanton, the sophomore defensive back, but it's a first down for the Mavericks.
That was a keeper from the get-go as he went to the far to his right side over his offensive line, and pretty nifty running by Cardona, and got he's the original line of scrimmage now again, and it's this looks like well, that's a 1st and 10. He got a first down.
First down at the 40-yard line for the Mavericks. 5:02, no timeouts left in this half for CCWinn. Cardona takes the snap. It's a handoff to Jeremiah Robinson. Bounces it left. He's got a little room here if he can turn the corner and no one holds. But Robinson loses the ball at the 40. I think someone picked it up. And after all of that, the Mavericks are going to have a 2nd and 10 from the 40-yard line.
That's about as freaky a play as you'll see. Jeremiah Robinson had the football over here on the near side, and when he got spun around, the football flew out and ended up at about midfield. And luckily there was a Maverick there that said, look what I found.
He left it behind, and a good job by the Maverick offensive falling on top of it. He actually lost about a half a yard on the fumble recovery. 4:15 left in the second quarter. Here come the Mavericks on a 2nd and 10 from the 40.5-yard line. Again, Cardona under center. The toss this way to Arandu Pace. Pace looking to throw, but he's going to get caught in the backfield. That's actually not Pace. It's the backup quarterback, Gabriel Valderas. They're going to try to open up a pass for him, Morris, but the defense was on him too quickly.
It was a halfback pass, if you could call it that, but the defense was right on him and dropped him at the Medina Valley 45.
And that's going to be a 3rd and 15 now for the Mavericks after that 5-yard loss. 3:34 left in the second quarter. Cardona will come out with the ball in the near hash mark. Gonzalez will be split out wide right, and Vasquez here nearest to us on the left side. Robinson in the backfield along with Cardona. Cardona takes a deep drop back, now steps up in the pocket. He's going to look to run it himself. Tries to juke left before he's brought down by number 27, Manny Riojas, junior linebacker, and he's brought down at the 43-yard line. A gain of only 2 yards there leaves the Mavericks with a 4th and 13.
Cardona dropped back and was looking deep and got flushed up and ended up having to come up and is brought down at the 43.
Medina Valley will use one of their timeouts here in the first half. They've got one left. With 2:50 left in the second quarter, 23-7 is the Panther lead. Tonight's game brought to you by Nevada's Law. Valderas awaits the snap. It's a high snap. He's got to bring it down. It goes straight up in the air. Gets some good hang time there. Hits at the 22 and then is bouncing hurriedly towards the end zone. And the Mavericks will see if they're able to down it at the one. No, they're calling it a touchback. Boy, the Mavericks were sprinting after that football, Morris, after it hit at about the 22-yard line and then just took off towards the northern end zone, but the Maverick coverage team could not catch up to it. It's going to be a touchback out to the 25.
Ruben, I think it even surprised the Maverick defenders' punt coverage that ball, I mean, just took off toward the end zone, and there was 3 or 4 Mavericks had an opportunity to maybe down it at the 1-yard line, but it did not happen.
Ball is at the 20. Medina Valley comes to the line of scrimmage with 2:37 left in the first half, up 23-7 over the Mavericks. Gonzalez, the freshman quarterback, awaits the snap after checking with the sideline. Here's the snap, looks right, pump fakes once. Here comes the Maverick defense. Now he'll keep it himself, still looking downfield, but they're going to catch up to him at about the 24-yard line. Dante De Leon for the Mavericks with the tackle.
Gonzalez still able to salvage some yardage as he got about 3 yards on the play.
Ball's at the 23, 2nd and 7 coming up after the quarterback keeper. Quick pass over to the far side, caught, and down the sideline goes the receiver, Jaden Gonzalez, before being pulled out of bounds by Jonathan Salayandia over on the far side, and the Panthers now working quickly. The new line of scrimmage is the 33.
One of the reasons that they called a timeout a while ago was to conserve some time on the clock. And they come up to the line of scrimmage. Then they pull back up and look over there for the play. Here's the snap.
Long pass intended for Hewitt. Lots of fighting with the defender, number 32, Luis Leos, and there is a flag on that play.
Rene Ramirez is really the Maverick offensive coordinator is upset because the flag didn't come unless they're calling offensive pass interference here.
We're going to call it on the Mavericks. We saw the hand fighting partner as that ball neared the sideline.
It came from the official over that had his back to it, and that was, I think, not a good call. But then again, we're not the ones making the calls down there.
With a minute 57, the line of scrimmage now is the 48-yard line. 1st and 10 from there. The handoff to, it's a keeper actually. They'll fake the handoff to Guerrero, and Gonzalez gets back to the line of scrimmage. He'll get a yard to the 49-yard line. Be a 2nd and 9 coming up for Medina Valley with a minute 40 left. Quickly to the line they come. Gonzalez takes the snap, pump fakes once, looking down to the far sideline. The pass is caught at the 20-yard line by, it looks to be Gonzalez, number 8.
We had a 1-and-1 coverage over there. On the coverage was number 5.
First down now for the Panthers at the 12-yard line after that long pass. A minute and a half left here in the first quarter. Guerrero with the carry. He'll get inside the 5 and then stretch out the ball to get into the end zone for the Panther touchdown, a 12-yard touchdown run by Anthony Guerrero.
The play before, Ruben, we actually had 1-and-1 coverage over there, which was not bad coverage. He had him step by step, and the pass was just an outstanding pass by Gonzalez.
He dropped it in the basket at the freshman quarterback, and it made all the difference on that long catch. On for the point after attempt now is Valderas. Kick is on its way, and it's good. And it'll make the score Medina Valley Panthers 30, Mavericks 7. Tonight's game brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Dodge Buick of Eagle Pass. 30-7 is the score now after that touchdown run by Anthony Guerrero. This kickoff is fielded by Fernando Vasquez over on the far side of the field, still moving the pile. He'll get across the 30 to the 33-yard line. That's where the Mavericks will start with 1:14 left in the first half.
So the 1:14 left before the end of the half as the Panthers lead the Mavericks 30-7.
Some scores from around the Mavericks district. Southwest all over Nixon, 54-21. That's already a final. That happened last night. Cigarro and Martin are all tied up at 14 in the second quarter, and South San losing to South Side 28-0. Cardona will take the snap, hands off to Jeremiah Robinson. That's actually Arandu Pace coming here to the near side, and Pace will get back to the line of scrimmage and no further. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Mavericks.
The clock will run now.
56 seconds left here in the first half. Mavericks trail 30-7 after a good opening drive from with that long touchdown score for Tadeo Rivera, who is now partner, is out of the game after that injury in the second or third drive of the ballgame for the Mavericks. 35 seconds left on the clock. Cardona again with a loaded backfield. Here's the snap. Hands off again to Arandu Pace. Pace looking for some running room. Has a lane that closed up quickly, and he'll make it only to the 34-yard line. A gain of 2 yards. It's going to be a 3rd and 8 now for the Mavericks.
You know, Ruben, number 46, Tadeo Rivera, started out the game with a bang with that long run. And later in this first half, he came off limping. They tried to tape him up and everything. That's the end of the half.
Clock is at zeros for the first half. The Eagles district is quiet tonight. Everybody had the open week before the start of district play. Next week, we'll be here next week for the Eagles versus Alexander. It'll be homecoming for the Eagles next week here at Koza Foster Veterans Memorial Stadium. Partner, as we always do before we take a look at the Thundering Maverick band down on the field, let's talk a little bit about what the Mavericks need to work on when they go into the locker room and the kind of start they're going to need to have in the second half.
Well, first of all, the first half, they couldn't sustain a drive, and that hurt because that kept the Maverick defense out on the field quite a long time. And most importantly, it did not keep the football away from the Medina Valley offense. So I'm sure that's one of the things they're going to work on. Penalties continue to plague the Mavericks, and also some timely penalties. So those are some of the things they're going to talk about at halftime. But I think most important of all, they're going to try to work really hard the second half at sustaining drives and keeping the football.
We will have the performance of the Thundering Maverick band here for you in just a minute. Up until that point, our microphones will be closed. You'll hear some background music from us due to copyright issues. We can't play all of it. We can't play for you live all of the music that some of these dance teams use at time, but we will make sure that our mics and our cameras are working when the Thundering Maverick band comes onto the field. At halftime, Panthers 30, Mavericks 7.
CCWinn High School proudly presents their halftime show featuring the CCWinn Maverick Band. Striking Silver Guard. The Maverick Band is under the field direction of Jocelyn De Hoyos, Albert Perez, and Nina Castillo. Band members of the week are Angel Acosta and Ainami Martinez. Band section of the week is the mellophone section. Striking Silver Guard officers are Captain Jasmine Herrera, Co-Captain Carmen Lopez, and Lieutenant Dulce Herrera. Guard members of the week are Ivani Banderas and Samantha Rios. The band will perform their UIL show, Freedom, which includes La Llorona, Estrellita, and Cielico Lindo. And now, ladies and gentlemen, stand up and get ready for your CCWinn Thunder Red Maverick Band.
Salías de un templo un día, llorona, cuando al pasar yo te vi, hermoso y peleaba, llorona, que en la Virgen te creí.
Welcome back, folks, for the second half of action between the Medina Valley Panthers and the CCWinn Mavericks. You heard the thundering Maverick band down on the field earlier. We want to wish them well at competition tomorrow down in Laredo, going down to LISD for that competition. The score here, Morris, 30-7 in favor of the Panthers, and the Mavericks will be kicking off first.
Well, Ruben, we're hoping that they went in at halftime and want to see a little bit more ball control by the Maverick offense here in the second half. And then I'm sure that they talked over on defense how to stop, especially running back Guerrero for the Panthers.
Anthony Guerrero with an outstanding first half for Medina Valley. This is going to be fielded at about the 12-yard line. Up the field at the 30-35, quickly now tiptoeing down the sideline is Antoine Pierce, who we expected to see more of coming out of the backfield in the first half, but I think Guerrero did the job well enough that Pierce didn't have to come onto the field in the first half. Pierce is brought down at the 42-yard line, and the Panthers will start from there.
Really good return by Pierce as he came down the near sideline and tiptoed the sideline to get outside the 40 to the 42.
We'll see if Medina Valley stays in their offense here to start the third quarter, up 30-7. Again, the freshman quarterback Gonzalez in the shotgun has two receivers over to the far side of the field and one split out wide left here. He's got Guerrero in the backfield with him on his right. Rollout, then cuts upfield, does Gonzalez at the 45 and is brought down as he crosses the 45 to the 46-yard line. Therefore, the tackle for the Mavericks, number 57, Angel Cavazos, the defensive tackle.
And Ruben, that was a quarterback keeper the whole way over to the right side of the line as he sent his running back to the near side of the field.
The Panthers now have a 2nd and 6 from the 46-yard line. Gonzalez from the shotgun, the straight handoff here to Guerrero, who bounces around before hitting the line of scrimmage and is able to have some room all the way to the 49-yard line near midfield. It's a gain of 3 yards, and it brings up a 3rd and 1 for the Panthers.
And here's a good critical 3rd down for the Maverick defense. We need a stop here.
It's a 3rd and 3 from there. Looking over to the sideline is the Panthers offense, and the Maverick defense in the meantime has a chance to make a stand here early on in the third quarter. 10:44 left in the third. Gonzalez with the keeper has room up the middle at midfield at the 45, cuts up the far hash mark, still on his feet as he nears the 25, and is finally brought down over near the far sideline on the far side of the field by Daniel Valderas, the defensive back, but a huge gain for Gonzalez on the quarterback keeper, gets them all the way to the 25-yard line.
Gonzalez came very close to breaking that down the far sideline had it not been for that saving tackle.
10:16 left in the third quarter. 30-7 is the Panther lead, and we'll have a 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Late substitutions for the Mavericks near the defensive line. They'll have 3 down linemen. Will the Mavericks. Gonzalez from the shotgun with 2 men here on the near side. They rewound the play clock. 9:52 left now in the third quarter. And now they'll wind it all over again as they're letting a lot of clock come off of the game clock. Handoff to Guerrero, bounces left, meets a tackler, and then bounces around and is inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. Again, Daniel Valderas in and among the tacklers.
And as he's done all game long, Guerrero running with a lot of authority. He hits the line, he spins, and is getting some valuable yardage.
9:19 left in the third quarter. Quickly to the line come the Panthers. They'll stand up now as the ball is on the near hash mark and look over to the far sideline for the offensive adjustment. Gonzalez in the shotgun. Here's a counter for Guerrero again, and he gets past the initial point of contact and makes it all the way to the 5-yard line. A gain of 8 yards on the play Brings up 2nd and 2 for the Panthers.
You know, Ruben, the offensive front line, the front four there for the Medina Valley is here's a penalty.
The 15-yard penalty, I think it was something after the play, a personal foul, because they're going to mark it off 15 yards. The ball's going to end up all the way back here at the 28-yard line.
As I was saying before the penalty, that front four, the front offensive line, doing a really good job for the Panthers so far.
8:56 left. They're pushing people around down there, are the Panther offensive linemen. They do use kind of a wing, a fullback blocker right behind the line. Here's a pass, a slant caught at the 20-yard line by Gonzalez, Jaden Gonzalez, and he'll get it all the way to the 5-yard line before being stopped by the Maverick defense. Juan Martinez in and among the tacklers for the Mavericks. 1st and goal for the Panthers.
A bullet pass as he caught it around the 10 and then spun around and dove inside the 5-yard line.
8:19 left now in the third quarter, and the Panthers are threatening again in their first possession of the second half. Ball is at the 5-yard line. High snap brought down. Guerrero with the handoff into the end zone. He goes over left guard, and it's another Panther touchdown. 36-7 is the score with a point after attempt coming up. 8:04 left in the third quarter. Padilla will come on for the point after attempt.
And the Panthers have taken their first drive as they received the kickoff and have put it in the end zone here early in the third quarter.
High snap. The hold is good, though, and the kick from Padilla is through the uprights to make the score. Medina Valley Panthers 37, Mavericks 7. This football game brought to you by Eddie Morales for state representative. Ready for the kickoff after that 5-yard touchdown scamper by Anthony Guerrero makes the score 37-30 in favor of the Medina Valley Panthers. Kickoff is on its way from Padilla. It's going to be fielded at the 15-yard line by Fernando Vasquez. Vasquez looking for a wedge. Now comes here to the near sideline or close to it. And he'll be dropped at the 30-yard line. That's where the Mavericks will start their first drive of the second half.
Mavericks looking to put some points on the board. They trail 37-7 as they actually scored on their second play from scrimmage to open the ball game, but have been unable to put any more points on the board after that.
Abiel Cardona will come to the line of scrimmage, the 30 with 7:57 left in the third quarter. Fernando Vasquez will be split out wide left. Brian Cruz down here nearest to us. 3 receivers here on the near side. It's a keeper by Cardona. He'll go left. He's got room. He's at the 35, at the 40, still on his feet as he goes to the far sideline, and is finally escorted out of bounds by a bunch of Panthers. At the 45-yard line, a 15-yard gain for Cardona gives the Mavericks a first down.
Cardona goes to the opposite side of the field and is finally taken out of bounds over in front of the Panther bench. Showed good speed there, Abiel Cardona did.
He's able to follow his blocks, turned the corner over on the far side of the left side of the line, and then was able to make a good run of it. 7:49 left. Clock stops as Cardona went out of bounds. from the shotgun. He'll take the snap, hands off to Jeremiah Robinson, who's got room. He's at midfield, and he's brought down close to the 45. Now in Panther territory, they're going to mark him down at the 46-yard line, about a yard shy of a first down.
Robinson gets the handoff, finds a hole there in the middle of the line, and almost got the first down, just a yard short.
Seems to me like that's Jeremiah Robinson's best run of the night, probably. 9 yards on the carry there, 7:20 left in the third quarter. Ball is at the 46-yard line. Cardona again in the shotgun. Has 3 receivers here to the near side, one split out wide left. The snap, the handoff again to Robinson. He'll put his head down as he nears the line of scrimmage, and is able to get a first down inside the 45 to the 44-yard line.
So they're moving the chains on the far side of the field.
Clock does keep running. It stops momentarily while they move the chains, but now we're under 7 minutes here in the third quarter. Panthers up 37-7 over the Mavericks. Panthers come in with a 1-4 record overall, 1-2 in district, having beaten the Martin Tigers a couple of weeks ago down in Laredo. Here is a keeper for Cardona, going to try to get some blockers here on the near side, and does. He's brought down eventually at the 38-yard line. Number 7, James Stanton, in on that tackle. Brings up a 2nd and 3 or 4 for the Mavericks.
Cardona having some success running around the corners here, Ruben, and has got some good yardage so far here in the second half.
It's a 2nd and 4 now for the Mavericks from the 38-yard line. Ball is on the near hash mark. Cardona will send Fernando Vasquez again, split out wide left, and has 3 receivers here to the near side of the ball. There's the snap. The handoff is to Jeremiah Robinson. He's going to get swallowed up at the 40 for a loss of 2 yards. A bunch of Medina Valley defenders there. In among them, Brady Foreman, or rather Jacob Lascano, and Mario Jaramillo, the 2 defensive linemen who stood up. Jeremiah Robinson at the 40-yard line, and it's now going to be a 3rd and 6 from there.
Good penetration from the 2 of the front 4, defensive front 4 for the Panthers.
5:21 left in the third quarter. The Mavericks trying to convert here on 3rd down, 3rd and 6 from the 40-yard line. Cardona will take the snap. Quick pass down here to Cruz. Cruz, they got a handful of face masks as they were trying to bring him down. Brian Cruz just did a good job of holding on to that ball, really, but it's going to cost the Panthers 15 yards.
You know, they quickly came down on him as he was trying to spin away, and as he did that, and that you called it just right. It is a face mask.
We saw the defender spin Brian Cruz around by the helmet, by the face mask. It was obvious here, the Maverick coaching staff down there calling it on the field, bringing it to the officials' attention, but he caught it, and the ball now is at the 25-yard line after the face mask penalty.
Well, Ruben, I tell you, if the official hadn't caught it, the Maverick staff would have thrown a flag.
Yeah, they would have flagged the officials on that play. 5:05 left in the third quarter. The Mavericks have a fresh set of downs after that face mask penalty. Ball is on the near hash mark. 3 receivers over to the far side of the field this time. And Brian Cruz split out wide right down here. Close coverage over on that side. They come close to the line, and they're going to eat all of that space up for Cardona.
Cardona is trying to go to the far side of the field, but this time it closed up on him. Really had real good containment by the corners over there in the right end for the Panther defense.
We could see them sneak up pre-snap all of the defenders to crowd the box, and it worked for them there. A 5-yard loss on the quarterback carry moves the Mavericks back to the 30-yard line, where they'll have a 2nd and 15 with 4:16 left here in the third quarter. Cardona with 3 receivers over to the right side, here to the near side. Will take the snap, drops back to pass. Here comes the defensive pressure, and they're going to swallow him up back here at the 40-yard line. An all-out blitz that gets to Cardona. James Vallejo, the linebacker, in on that tackle. Also, Caden Keller. And the ball now is all the way back here at the 40-yard line, where it's going to be a 3rd and 25.
Cardona had absolutely no chance as he started to drop back. The blitz came, like you said, an all-out blitz from the right side, the far side of the field, and they quickly swallowed him up.
Coming from the quarterback's left, the two linebackers just knifed right through the offensive line. 3.5 minutes left here in the third quarter. The Mavericks trying to convert again now on third down, a third and very long, 3rd and 25 from the far hash mark. All kinds of movement pre-snap. It's going to be a false start, and it'll cost the Mavericks 5 more yards, bring them back to the 45, where it'll be a third
and a bunch.
And a bunch, 3rd and 30.
Now going to be a 3rd and 30 for the Mavericks.
Ball is at the 45-yard line. The line to get is the 15. 30-15 left here in the third quarter. Mavericks trail 37-17. Cardona will await the snap with 3 receivers here to the near side. There's a snap. Quick pass this way to Brian Cruz, and Cruz is going to try to maneuver around the defense. He's brought down there. Number 16 and number 27, Lorenzo Morales and Manny Riojas bring down Brian Cruz at the 47-yard line. A loss of 2 yards there, and the Maverick punting team will come onto the field.
Number 1 is back deep for the Panthers. Carter Hewitt. Now number 7 heads back there. James Stanton.
2:17 left in the third quarter. This was the Mavericks' first drive of the second half. It's going to end in a punt attempt here. Kick is on its way. It's a high kick. It'll hit at the 24 and then take a good Maverick bounce towards the southern end zone, and it will end up at the 11-yard line. A good punt there by the Mavericks.
You know, one thing is tonight the Mavericks have been getting good bounces on their punts.
1:56 left in the third quarter. On comes the Panther offense now with under 2 minutes left in the third quarter. 37-7 is the Panther lead. Medina Valley's had the ball once in this ball game. A drive that started at their 42-yard line and culminated in a run by Guerrero for the touchdown. 1:56 left here. Gonzalez still in the game. 2 receivers over to the far side. His blocker in front of him and Guerrero in the backfield. That's actually Pierce in the backfield, and Antoine Pierce will get the carry, and he'll get about 3 yards to the 15-yard line.
Ruben, as we look a little bit ahead after tonight, the Mavericks take to the road next Friday to head over to play South San in San Antonio.
Mavericks will be in San Antonio. We will be here bringing you the game between the Eagles and the Alexander Bulldogs, the first game of the district season for the Eagles. Quick pass over to the right side. Up the sideline goes the receiver, number 88, Cade Gallion. And Gallion takes that ball to the 26-yard line, it looks like, where it'll be a first down for the Panthers. Number 83, Alan Alonso with the tackle over on the far side of the field. Ball is at the 27-yard line. Bouncing around is Guerrero, and he'll be held up as he nears the 30. Anthony Guerrero will be brought down at the 32-yard line.
Guerrero refusing to go down as he got hit by a herd of Mavericks and still was churning for more yardage.
Be a 2nd and 5 from there. 46 seconds left in the third quarter. Quick pass again to Gallion over on the right side. Gallion makes the catch and turns it upfield across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Jonathan Salayandia and Daniel Valderas there to make the tackle.
We had number 21 over there, Andres Rodriguez, but really tight coverage, so he was able to get a turn and make some yardage.
1st and 10 from the 41. Again, the play to Gallion, and Gallion this time actually drops the pass. The clock stops on the incompletion. 2nd and 10 coming up from Medina Valley.
Obviously, the up from the booth, the offensive coaches for the Panthers are seeing something over there on that far side of the field, trying to catch us with single coverage.
Yeah, it's a cushion that they're giving Gallion over there on the far side of the field, and so that catch for him is easy, and they'll ask him to do the rest with his speed. It's a keeper for Gonzalez. Right up the middle he goes, and he's finally brought down as he crosses the line to get for a first down, the 49 into Maverick territory. They're going to spot the ball at the 48, and the Panthers are going to try to get one more playoff here in the 3rd quarter after that quarterback run. 8 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, in Medina Valley, I don't think we'll be able to get another playoff before the end of the 3rd. 37-7 is the score with 1 quarter left here from Cozell Foster Veterans Memorial Stadium. At the start of the 4th quarter, 37-7 is a Medina Valley lead. Here's a handoff to Pierce, and Antoine Pierce will near the 40, the 41-yard line before being brought down there by 55 for the Mavericks, Hector Saldaña.
And the Panthers will probably be very content to continue to run the football. They're doing getting some good yardage.
2nd and 2 from the 41 for Medina Valley. The clock will keep ticking, of course, on all of these runs. Again, the handoff to Pierce. Pierce shifty behind his line and finally turns it north and south, gets to the 32-yard line. Number 36, Isaac Maldonado there for the tackle.
They move the chains on the far side of the field as we are starting the 4th quarter. Mavericks trail 37-7.
At the 32-yard line, the Panthers have a first down just underway here in the 4th quarter. 11:08 left in this ball game. Again, Pierce is in the backfield with Gonzalez. It looks like Guerrero's done for the night. The handoff again to Antoine Pierce, runs into one of his own linemen, and the Maverick defense does a good job of closing in on him there after a loss of about a yard to the 33-yard line. Jose Villarreal, the defensive end, in on that tackle.
You're seeing some pretty massive substitutions on defense now by the Maverick defense.
It'll be 2nd and 11 now. Yeah, the Maverick starters starting to come off the field. You want to keep everyone else healthy for the remainder of district play. 10:25 left on the clock. Man in motion across the formation. A counter for Pierce again, and Pierce bounces around in the backfield, still grinding. Will finally be brought down. Lots of pushing and shoving at the end of the play. No flags, though. Pierce is brought down at the 26. Gain of 7 on the play.
So it's 3rd down here. Maverick defense would like to hold on this down.
It'll be 3rd and 4 coming up for the Panthers with under 10 minutes left now in the ball game. Well in hand for Medina Valley. The Mavericks will be traveling to San Antonio next week against South San. 9:42 left on the clock here in the game. Pierce again bounces left and then goes all the way into the end zone for the 26-yard touchdown. carrying defenders with him. Maverick defenders trying to hold him back from the jersey, but after 26 yards, it's a touchdown with 9:33 left in the ball game. And for the moment, the score is Medina Valley 43, Mavericks 7. You think about it, Morris, they relied on Guerrero to the Panthers most of the ball game, and we've seen some good running here from Antoine Pierce. It's good to have weapons like that on your depth chart. The kick is up and good. Makes the score Panthers 44, Mavericks 7. .933 left in the ball game after a 26-yard touchdown run by Antoine Pierce. Medina Valley is up 44-7 on the Mavericks. Vasquez and another receiver back to receive. That's Arandu Pace, who's going to let that ball roll out of bounds smartly over on the far side of the field. The Mavericks, after that penalty, will start at the 35-yard line. Good field position for them as they try to work on some end-of-game strategies and put in some work here with about 9.5 minutes left in the ball game. Again, the Eagles are open this week. The entirety of the Eagles district is open this week. Nobody's playing in the Eagles district. They're getting ready to start their district season next week. We will be here at Kozel Foster Veterans Memorial Stadium bringing you the action between the Eagles and the Alexander Bulldogs. It'll be homecoming for Eagle Pass. The Mavericks will be in San Antonio playing South San. We'll give you those score updates here. 9:33 left in the ball game. Cardona in the shotgun. He'll keep it himself, looking for room on the left side of the line. But big number 52 shed his block. That's Ruben Rincon, the junior linebacker, and he'll bring Cardona down at the yard behind the line of scrimmage at the 29.
Fought off the block, like you mentioned, reached out there and grabbed a handful of jersey and then just spun him around to bring him down.
9:09. We talked about it earlier. Lots of losses on that offensive line this year for the Mavericks. And when you're a running team like CCWinn is, it really hurtful when you can't find, when you've got to rebuild, so to speak, on the offensive line. 8:53 left in the ball game on a 2nd and 11. Cardona from the shotgun will take the snap. The handoff is to Jeremiah Robinson, and he gets stood up at the line of scrimmage and manages to squeeze a little bit more out of that all the way to the 31-yard line.
So the Mavericks finding a hard time running the football as Medina Valley is just pretty much like a box and one in there, isn't it?
They're loading the box, so to speak, box and one, and just not really allowing the Mavericks very much running room at all. 8:15 left in the ball game. 44-7 is the Medina Valley Panther lead. Of course, Medina Valley there in Castroville up Highway 90. Cardona with the keepers got some room and is able to get the Maverick first down across the 40-yard line to the 42.
Cardona takes the football, goes to the far side of the field, and the Mavericks have had some success running wide. They're just having a hard time running between the tackles.
Up the middle has been the problem for the Maverick offense. We've seen Cardona turn on the Jets a couple of times. We saw him do it there. 7:45 left in the ball game. The Mavericks have a fresh set of downs at the 41. It'd be nice if they keep the ball now from here to the end of the game and finish the ball game with a score. 2 receivers on either side of the formation for Cardona. Ball on the far hash mark. He'll take the shotgun snap. High snap, hands it to Jeremiah Robinson, who's got a little running room. Now shifts as he nears midfield and bounces right. And he is into Medina Valley territory at the 48-yard line.
Jeremiah Robinson running over the right side of the line, bounced it outside, and he knew where the yard marker was to get the first down. At the end, he sidestepped it a little bit and was able to get it.
Good running backs, they say, can smell the yard marker. They can smell the end zone. We saw Jeremiah Robinson score a bunch of touchdowns last year. Of course, the Mavericks went too deep in the playoffs last year. We were up at Alamo Stadium for their first game against Highlands, their first playoff game, an exciting game that the Mavericks won. 6:58 left in the ball game. 1st and 10 for the Mavericks from the 8-yard line. A handoff again to Jeremiah Robinson, still on his feet as he tries to muscle through and get a couple of more yards, but he'll be brought down at the 47-yard line after a gain of 2 yards.
And Ruben, the Missouri Tigers have a really tough game.
Against the number 1 team in the country, the defending national champions, the Georgia Bulldogs tomorrow. We're 29-point underdogs. My friend Shazad thinks we can cover, so we've got that going.
Well,
We've got that going for us.
And I think my Aggies are Mississippi State, I believe.
They're down in Mississippi.
You picked against them.
Against the Aggies yesterday, going with Mike Leach. I think he's going to pull something off down there in Starkville. Here's a keeper by Cardona. Again, good moves, and then turns on the jets as he reaches open field. He's brought down as he nears the 35 at the 37-yard line. Again, of 10 yards on the quarterback keeper.
Well, I'll tell you what, after the debacle against Appalachian State, my Aggies changed quarterbacks, and
they've righted the ship. Got a couple of wins in a row now.
Yeah.
And Jimbo Fisher's looking a little bit more comfortable, and his quarterback is looking a little bit more comfortable in that offense. Is that Max Johnson?
Ben Johnson. And not only that, they're looking forward to a tough schedule.
Tough SEC schedule in the SEC West always. 5.5 minutes left in the ball game. The handoff is to Jeremiah Robinson. He's got a little head of steam as he nears the line of scrimmage, and he'll be brought down at the 35-yard line after a gain of 2 yards. 2nd and 8 coming up for the Mavericks.
Mavericks doing a good job sustaining a drive, getting some first downs, keeping the clock moving.
5:07 left in the ball game. The Mavericks trying to get on the board again. Trailing 44-7. The Mavericks scored first in this game as soon as they got the ball, the second play from scrimmage. You mentioned it. A big long run by Tadeo Rivera, who's unfortunately left the game since then with an injury. Ball on the far hash mark. Cardona in the shotgun. Here comes Fernando Vasquez in motion. They're going to have to call a timeout as the play clock was running out on them. It's the Mavericks' second timeout of the second half. 4:41 left here in the ball game. Mavericks are down 44-7.
And where was it from? Oh, go ahead.
4:41 left in the ball game. Second and 8 rather for the Mavericks here. Quick pass caught by Patrick Solis down here near the numbers, and Solis is brought down at the 32-yard line. A gain of 3 yards on that pass brings up a 3rd and 5 now for the Mavericks.
Little sideline pass, a quick pass over the near side of the field. He got some yardage on it. He's still short. Going to be 3rd down.
4:15 left in the ball game. You'd think this is 4-down territory for the Mavericks down here in Medina Valley territory. The Thundering Maverick Band will be in Laredo tomorrow at pre-UIL competition, and the Mighty Eagle Band will be at Rocket Review in Rutledge Stadium tomorrow. Handoff to Jeremiah Robinson, who spins around near the 30 and is brought down at the 29-yard line after a gain of 3 yards. A 4th and 2 coming up here for the Mavericks.
And no doubt what's going to happen here, the Mavericks are going to go for it as they try to sustain this drive.
3.5 minutes left before the end of the ball game. Ball's at the 29-yard line, and the Mavericks have to convert on a 4th and 2 to keep this drive alive. Happy to report that my Atlanta Braves are beating the Mets in the top of the 9th inning, 5-2 in a battle for first place in the National League East. Cardona tries to turn the corner and get to that first down. He's going to try to stretch it out, and he's going to be brought down, I think, at the line to get. I think they're going to give it to him.
It's going to depend on the spot, but I'm almost sure that this is a first down. They're moving the chains.
They will indeed move the chains. The line of scrimmage now is the 27-yard line where they needed to get for a first down. 1st and 10 for the Mavericks there. 2:56 left in the ballgame.
What a battle between the Braves and the Mets for that first place. Of course, my Yankees have already clinched.
They have.
And I'm kind of hoping that they do well in the playoffs. That's sort of been their dilemma.
Well, my Braves are the defending World Series champions, so I can't complain too much, but they're still doing well. Here's Robinson with the carry. He's pushed back near the 25. They'll give him forward progress to the 26-yard line. It's officially a 1-yard carry, 2nd and 9 coming up for the Mavericks.
And Robinson continues to run hard, refuses to be brought down as he keeps turning. And been a long ball game for Jeremiah Robinson.
Been a long season so far for the star running back from last year's Maverick team, as the defenses have looked at the tape and they're all week in and week out keying in on Jeremiah Robinson out of the Maverick backfield. 1:55 left in the ball game. The Mavericks with a 2nd and 9 from the 26-yard line. It's a keeper for Cardona. He'll be met before the 25 by Caleb Villegas, the junior linebacker. No gain on that carry for Cardona. Brings up a 3rd and 9 now for the Mavericks.
Nothing there for Cardona as he tried to work the left side and cut the corner as he was smothered right outside the 25-yard line.
Under 90 seconds now left in this ball game. Mavericks trailing 44-7. As the clock ticks down, Cardona will bring the Mavericks to the line on a 3rd and 9 from the 26-yard line. Ball on the near hash mark. Cardona takes the snap, looks right, pumps once, now brings it down. Going to try to keep it himself. Turns a corner here at the 25, puts up a stiff arm, and is pushed out of bounds near there by Ruben Rincon, an outstanding linebacker for the Panthers who's had a heck of a game. They're going to give him the 24-yard line, a gain of 2 yards. So 4th and 7 now. Mavericks were going to try to convert again for the second time in this drive on 4th down.
As the game clock is ticking down, I believe there.
58 seconds left in the ball game. Mavericks face a 4th and 8 from the 24-yard line. Clock stops as the runner went out of bounds on the last play. The Mavericks have got to get this ball snapped. They do. Cardona with the pass. It is incomplete, but lots of fighting down there. Fernando Vasquez was the intended receiver. Jacob Warren, sophomore defensive back, was all over Vasquez down there, and I think this is going to be a pass interference call.
Inside the 5, and they'll step it off from the line of scrimmage.
That pass interference called against Jacob Warren. They'll step it off. Mavericks should be in business here. They'll have a 1st and goal now at the 9-yard line.
53 seconds. They're going to start the clock here.
Wind the clock.
And, they started the play
The
clock.
play clock has started. The game clock will not until after the snap. 53 seconds left in the ball game. Ball on the near hash mark. Here is a handoff to Jeremiah Robinson, and Robinson gets that ball to the 3-yard line.
Goes over the right side. The Mavericks, I'm sure, will rush up to the line. They're going to try to get a playoff here and get in the end zone.
2nd and goal from the 4 now. Quickly to the line of the Mavericks with under 30 seconds left in the ballgame. Again, the handoff to Jeremiah Robinson. Gets past one tackler, still grinding. The Mavericks, have 1 timeout left here, and they're going to use it down here to try to get a score with 22 seconds left in the ballgame.
There, as they umpile everybody up around near the goal line over there.
Right at about the 1 is where they stopped Jeremiah Robinson. It's going to be a 3rd and goal from there with 22 seconds showing on the clock here before the end of this ball game. We want to thank all of you for joining us on Eagle Pass Sports Central. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We know you listen into the prediction show every Thursday. You listen into the broadcasts. We had a heck of a game for you last week from up in San Marcos, and we expect to have the same next week when the Alexander Bulldogs come in to face the Eagles in the first game of district play. It'll be homecoming. We hope that all of the alumni for Eagle Pass High School who are out there and maybe listening to us make the trip down next week to watch the homecoming festivities.
And if they
here.
don't make the trip, we'll listen to us and watch our video broadcast
on Facebook and on YouTube. It's our pleasure to bring you these broadcasts, and we want to thank our sponsors as well. 22 seconds left in the ball game. The Mavericks are going to try to put this in from the 1-yard line. From the shotgun, Cardona will take the snap. The handoff is to Jeremiah Robinson, who makes a beeline over the right side of the line into the end zone, and he is in for the Maverick touchdown. 44-13 is the score with 18 seconds left on the clock.
Well, the Mavericks take the football and sustain a long drive to put it in the end zone here to finish up this game and to finish off on a positive note here tonight.
A 70-yard drive that ends on a 1-yard touchdown run from Jeremiah Robinson. Andres Rodriguez on for the point after attempt. The kick is through the uprights and good. The score, Medina Valley 44, Mavericks 14. "18 seconds left in the ball game. Mavericks are down 44-14. Here from Cozumel Foster Veterans Memorial Stadium. Cozumel Foster, of course, a legend around these parts, Morris, as you know well, having played a little ball while Coach Foster was in the area.
It has been a while since then, and of course, Coach Foster, may you rest in peace. And
kick is on its way, and it will bounce towards the end zone. That's a live ball, and it will go into the end zone, though, for a touchback.
And we've still got 18 seconds if that ball was not touched by anybody.
No time went off the clock, and so the Panthers will come out to no doubt take a knee at the 25-yard line to finish this ball game.
This will be the last play of the ball game here tonight. 44-14, a Medina Valley Panther victory here tonight.
Mavericks are headed to San Antonio next week. They'll be at South San. 18 seconds left. Gonzalez under center will take a knee, and that will be the last play of the ball game as the teams now start congratulating each other on a job well done. The Mavericks, as you mentioned, Morris, you hope that number 46, Tadeo Rivera, is good to go. We saw some flashes from him early on in the ball game as they get ready for South San next week. They move to 0-3 now in district, and a tough road ahead for the Mavericks to try to make it into the playoffs, but still possible in this district.
Well, they got a tough road, and of course, the Maverick district, such a huge district, unlike the Eagles district. 9 teams in the Mavericks district, and the Eagles, of course, will start their district play this coming week with 5 straight district games.
We'll be on board for Mavericks and Eagles action throughout the season. Still the meaty part of the season, so to speak, left for both the Panthers, both for the Mavericks and the Eagles. The Eagles, again, starting district play next week. Morris, your final thoughts here on this final score, 44-14.
Really tough loss for the Mavericks. They started off with a bang, scored you had Tadeo Rivera break that long run, but unfortunately, his participation in the game was short-lived. Came out with an injury, and we did not see him go back in. And after that, the Medina Valley offense came back, sustained some ball control, put points on the board. Mavericks held them to 1 touchdown, I believe, in the second half, 2 touchdowns. And, that's the way this ball game went. The Mavericks, of course, are going to go back to work and prepare for South San this coming week.
We want to thank our sponsors, Brown Chevrolet, Buick GMC of Eagle Pass, Maverick County Hospital District, Eddie Morales for State Representative, Ancida Ford, Jeep, Eagle Pass Storage, Border Federal Credit Union, Knickerbocker, Heredia, Salinas, and Salinas, and Nevarez Law. We want to thank all of them for bringing these games to you here on Eagle Pass Sports Central, live on Facebook, live on YouTube. We'll see you for the prediction show this week. We'll be back at Brown for that prediction show, and then we'll be here next Friday to bring you all of the action between the Eagles and the Alexander Bulldogs. For my broadcasting partner, Morris Lipson Jr., my name is Ruben Valadez. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.